Welcome, I'm David,
I'm Lindsay,
and this is Desmond's Donders. Welcome, and welcome to a Wednesday waffle. I'm going to try and stay calm for this one. I'm going to try and just stick to what I think are the facts. And I can only say that because having researched, I've established on websites, etc., that are trustworthy. What are the facts? But there's a lot of misinformation out there. So I'm going to start with some quickie little bits. America. It's in a mess. Whatever we say, it's in a mess. It's very quickly becoming what it fought against for years. The Soviet Union. Free speech is vanishing. I only hope he doesn't try to take their Second Amendment rights and a civil war breaks out. That's the last thing the rest of the planet needs, is America having yet another civil war. Hopefully, Americans have the ability to take it into their own hands and resolve the problem. Because wouldn't it be ironic if, as part of a peacekeeping force to keep Americans apart, Iraq were part of that force? That was a joke. The rest of what's going on isn't. By the time you see this, which might be 4 weeks down the road from now, who knows what will happen. Today is the 5th of March and I don't have a scheduled slot for about 4 weeks. However, I could, if I could edit this by 6 o'clock tonight, get it out by then. And you could see it then when it's more relevant. However, I'm away on a trip, we're at a nice place, and if the weather holds out, we've got things to do. Okay, a couple of things I want to talk about. The first one, it's conscription. I'm going to talk about conscription and the history of conscription of 3 countries. The first 2 I'm going to talk to you about are the United States, where the conscription age is 18 and it's forced conscription, etc., etc., medical, and something apparently as simple as bone spurs in your foot can save you from serving in America. I had one removed. Yeah, I had one removed when I was about 16, 17. Joined the Air Force when I was 18. So, the next one is conscription at the age. What age can conscription occur in the UK? The conscription age from the UK is actually 16. Kids, in other words. And where do those come from? They were the conscription rules that came in World War I and World War II. They are still there for use under emergency powers if the UK ever goes to war again. It's Yep, it's one of those things. We'll come back to why I wanted to talk about conscription later. But here's something which I'm going to read because I can't memorise it, about the Ukrainian subscription laws. Men are conscripted into the armed forces of Ukraine at age 25. After serving out the term of service, Ukraine's conscripts become part of the inactive reserve and are eligible to be recalled for mobilisation in Ukraine until they reach the age 55 and age 60 for officers. During the war, Ukraine instated a partial mobilisation to fill needed positions in its armed forces. These are all people who have they have service, they owe service, they have had their 18 months, been conscripted, had their 18 months, and they're now in the reserve. They called up reserves. So 26 and a half is the youngest these conscripts can be. However, because of the war, many conscripts have also been forced to serve longer than their original 18-month term. It was planned that in 2015 Ukraine would undergo 3 waves of partial mobilisation, and this would allow new troops to replace those serving longer than their original term of service. All medical workers in the Ukraine, regardless of gender, are eligible to be called for service in case of national emergency. And then we go on to draft dodging. Basically, if you don't turn up for service and draft dodge, your passport is invalidated, so you can't leave. If you have, and you do, you can leave. And so on and so forth. How do I know this about not the national service? I was pointed at where to find that out by, I have 2 friends. No, I have more, but you know, 2. One who is currently in Ukraine, and a second who is outside Ukraine. The second has been on the front line since the start of this and is currently on leave in a country next door. He will be returning to the front line, training the new recruits, the people who have just turned up, to try and put an edge on them as fighting soldiers. Sorry, car's going past. The other one is beyond the fighting age, but he keeps us in touch with what is going on in the country. Okay, this is one that's probably going to cost me friends. I went on about conscription and laid down the laws and the way things are, both in UK, America and Ukraine, because there's been some rumours going around that in Ukraine snatch squads have been picking up youngsters, young kids, and taking them to fight in the war. I'm not going to swear. I am not going to swear. Why would he do that, Zelensky, or any of the armed forces leaders? They're doing well. They don't need the manpower, they need equipment, and that's what they're asking for. The other thing, though, is that those videos, I've seen them. I went looking. They're there. They're on the interweb. So go and have a look yourself. Those show nondescript soldiers. Soldiers wearing no marks of affiliation. They don't have Ukrainian forces badges, and they don't have Russian forces badges. So, who are they? Oh, they're just Ukrainians that have just taken their regalia off. But they could just as well be Russians. But there's one bunch who we've seen involved in this war, and we've seen involved 10 years ago. 10 years ago in the Crimea. Yes, mercenaries. And those mercenaries are tasked with collecting as many enemy children as possible so they can be taken back to Russia. And there I believe the word was educated and given a decent upbringing. You know, some of them people are probably fighting on the Russian side against their homeland. They did this not only in Crimea, but in every war, battle, whatever, the Russians, previously the Soviets, although different things, it was in their game plan, it was their battle book. It's one reason why the Allies defeated the forces in Gulf War I and II, was because both those forces were Russian trained and used the Russian plan, playbook, and guess what? The Allies have had that playbook for years. So those pictures you've seen, although they might be uploaded to YouTube in the last couple of weeks again, they are 10-year-old pictures of mercenaries in Crimea. Okay, there was one other thing, but I don't know that I want to get into it. I've already probably lost a load of subscribers, and maybe even some followers and friends on places like Facebook and here. Who knows? But I will say more, no doubt. It might even be that this is enough to have this video removed from YouTube. Who knows? But I don't really care. I'm fed up with misinformation. Fed up with it. It really annoys me. This may be the end of the video. Let's see how I go. Can I have a pause and a drink? The pause did me good. I've decided I'm not going to go into what I was going into. But America, back to them again, is quite clear when another country breaks treaties, breaks international law, etc., etc. Well, guess what? By removing support from Ukraine, America is doing just that. America, along with others, Britain, Turkey, guaranteed Ukraine's future in the event of an invasion. So, from what I can tell, I haven't gone and read the exact wording, but America, Britain and Turkey guaranteed Ukraine's future. America, what are you going to do about that? You need to do something about your leader. You need to either give him over to be tried under international law for breaking that treaty, or do something yourselves. This is the end of the video. Take care, stay safe, and I'll be in a better mood now I've got this off my chest. Thank you for watching Desmond's Donders. And remember, while in the countryside, indeed anywhere, take nothing but memories and leave nothing but tracks. Please subscribe and click that notification bell to receive notifications of all our videos.